In today's episode, the tip of the day. How important is clarity to your overall success?
Welcome to this edition of Peak Performance Podcast with your host, Thor Conklin. Thor will be sharing the necessary tools, strategies, and psychology you'll need to become a peak performer in any area of your life or business.
Thor Conklin here. We give you the tricks, the tips, the tools, the strategy, the psychology that peak performers use in order to get better results than 99.99% of the population. If you know what to do but struggle with getting it all done, or simply want to raise your game and get more done, this podcast is for you. Sit back and enjoy. This week I decided to do something that I've been wanting to do for a number of years, and that is I went in to have LASIK surgery done. Now I had this procedure done about 15 years ago, so I could see things at a distance. But as I got older, I had more trouble reading things, and I needed reading glasses and cheaters and all the rest when you start to hit that wonderful age around 45 to 50. And the procedure this time was a little different than the first time. One eye is going to be for distance and one eye for reading. And since I had this done before, the procedure on the eye that was for distance and is now reading had to undergo a much more difficult or aggressive operation or procedure. And what was supposed to heal in 3 days, I'm now on day 8, and I find myself still not being able to really see out of my right eye. Everything's very fuzzy. So as you can imagine, trying to do a podcast, trying to run a business, trying to do everything that has to happen in a day is extremely frustrating. Why? I have no clarity. I can't see. I can see a little bit. I can see figures, but I can't read. So what happens when you don't have clarity? You're basically shut down, right? You don't know which way to go. You don't know what to do. You can't see which way you need to go. Clarity is so important. Without it, you just kind of spin around in circles or sit there and not really do anything until you can get some clarity. Everything just stays fuzzy. You've got to know your outcome. We've talked about the ultimate success map. Step number 1, figure out what you want. Get that clarity. Understand what that goal is. About 8 months ago, I put on an event for a group of entrepreneurs here in Atlanta, and it was called Focus or Clarity. And what we did is we brought in an expert marksman, and he had these BB guns. And what would happen is you'd start off hitting these big targets about 10 feet away. Then the targets started getting smaller and then smaller. And eventually, by the afternoon, with this BB gun, you were able to hit an aspirin. Yes, an aspirin thrown up into the air, you could actually hit it. What you did is you started to train your body on getting very clear and starting to block out everything else except for your target. And it was amazing. I still have a dime that I hit. Obviously, the aspirin got exploded into just powder. But I have a dime that I literally have on Facebook. You can actually see it. It has the BB mark into it. So if you can eliminate all the other distractions and get very clear and focus in on your target, you can hit a very small target. So how do you do this? Step 1, tune out the noise. Get in a place where you can meditate, pray, get in a place where you can have solitude and simplicity, where all the noise is turned off. That includes your electronic devices, by the way. And get really clear on what you're looking for, what your objective is, what your outcome is. And then from that place, the strategy or the plan comes very easily. You want to eliminate all distractions, all things that get in the way of this clarity and that might make the process murky or complicated. Simplicity is so important here. Simplicity is clarity, or clarity is simplicity. As with everything, these are written down. These are not in your head. You must have a vision for your goal, for your outcome. You must connect to it on a daily basis. Visualize it. Is it easier to be focused on 10 things or just one? 10 targets or one target? Well, I don't even need to answer that for you. You've got to narrow down how many things you're focused on. Your success rate is going to be determined not only how focused you are on the target, but how many targets you're trying to hit. This process, unfortunately, for the women out there, is easier for men. Men have been designed since the beginning of time for single focus. When that saber-toothed tiger was charging the cave, we were focused only on that threat. Women, on the other hand, are focused to take everything in, to observe everything that's going on around them, to feel it, to see it. So for women, this is going to be a more difficult challenge for you, but you must master this if you're going to master execution. Question of the day. Where's your clarity? Where's your focus been a little murky and a little cloudy? In what area of your life? What area do you need to get more clarity on? Write that down and then come up with a set of action plans that you can start executing immediately to start giving you more clarity and moving you closer to your goals. Thank you so much for listening today. If you haven't already done so, please head over to iTunes and subscribe to the show. After listening to the shows, please leave us a 5-star rating and review. We really appreciate those, as those reviews and ratings help us reach additional listeners. However, our most important listeners are you, the ones that are listening today. If any of you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything that we could do to make this show better, please drop us an email at info@thorconklin.com, and I will personally answer each and every one of them. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter at thorconklin.com. Actually, that's the website. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Thor Conklin. These episodes are short and designed to be consumed during dot time, doing other things, driving, working out, playing the banjo, playing Monopoly, cleaning your house. Decide to be a peak performer in all that you do. And until tomorrow, have an absolutely amazing day.